The harder you tried to be close, the further she pulled away. You've been carrying that for years, some of you longer. You've gone back through the relationship 1,000 times trying to work out what you did wrong, what you should have done differently. Because nothing you tried worked. Every time you got closer, she got colder. Every time you reached, she withdrew. And the story you came out of it with was that there must have been something wrong with the way you were loving her. I want to tell you what was actually happening. The mechanism is biological. It has been studied in laboratories, and it isn't a mystery. The story isn't that you loved her badly. The story is that her nervous system was wired to receive love as a threat. And the more you offered, the more the threat alarm fired. There's a study that proves it. It's in the next 8 minutes. You've heard the phrase before. Oxytocin is the love hormone. It's in every wellness article, every popular psychology podcast, every TED Talk that mentions human connection. Hug your partner, oxytocin. Bond with your baby, oxytocin. Cuddle your dog, oxytocin. Take a deep breath and look into your partner's eyes, oxytocin. The implicit promise of that framing is simple. More oxytocin equals more love, more bonding, more trust. If you can just get more oxytocin into the system, the relationship will deepen, the connection will land, the fear will quiet down. That framing is at best incomplete. At worst, it is actively misleading. And the men in this audience who lived through a relationship with someone who couldn't hold closeness, you specifically were sold a version of this story that hurt you. Because you believed that if you just brought more warmth, more patience, more bonding presence, eventually the system would soften and she'd let you in. She didn't let you in, and here's why. In 2011, a research team led by Jennifer Bartz at Mount Sinai School of Medicine ran a study most people in the wellness space have never heard of. They took 27 adults, 14 of them with borderline personality disorder, 13 healthy controls, and gave them either intranasal oxytocin or a placebo. Then they had them play a cooperative game called the assurance game with a partner. The assurance game is designed to measure trust. Both players make the most money when they both cooperate, but each player has to cooperate first, without knowing what the other will do. So your strategic choice is a direct measurement of whether you trust the other person. The control group responded the way the popular story predicts. Healthy adults given oxytocin showed slightly more trust in their partner, were slightly more likely to cooperate. The BPD group did the opposite. Borderline participants given oxytocin showed significantly less trust in their partner. They were significantly more likely to defect. And in a hypothetical scenario, where they were told their partner would cooperate, they were still significantly more likely to choose the hostile, non-cooperative response. Let me put that in plain language. When you gave the love hormone to people with attachment trauma, it made them less trusting, more suspicious, and more likely to punish the other person for kindness they had no reason to fear. Here's why this happens. Oxytocin doesn't create trust, it doesn't create bonding, it doesn't create love. What oxytocin actually does is amplify the social signal your nervous system is already running. If your social program is set to other people are safe, closeness is good, connection is welcome, then oxytocin turns the volume up on that program. You feel more bonded. You trust more. You connect more. That's the experience the wellness articles are describing. But if your social program, through childhood trauma, attachment injury, or a brain wired to read closeness as engulfment, is set to other people or threats, then oxytocin amplifies that program. You become more vigilant, more suspicious, more defensive. The closer the other person gets, the louder the threat signal becomes. Which means, and this is the part of this video I want to make sure lands clearly, oxytocin is not actually the love hormone. It is the social salience hormone. It makes whatever was already running, run louder. For somebody whose nervous system was set up to receive warmth as warmth, that's a beautiful thing. For somebody whose nervous system was set up to receive warmth as warning, it's a catastrophe. Now I want to apply this to what actually happened in your relationship. Every time you stayed steady when she was anxious, her nervous system released oxytocin in response to the closeness and amplified the engulfment alarm. Every time you reassured her in a hard moment, her nervous system released oxytocin and amplified the suspicion that you were managing her. Every time you tried to be present in the warmth window, that hour of softness you both lived for, her nervous system released oxytocin in response to the intimacy and started the slow build of the threat response that would surface as hostility a few hours later. You weren't doing it wrong. You were a healthy stimulus being processed by a system that couldn't metabolize it. You were offering food to somebody whose digestive system rejects food. The food was good. The system couldn't use it. The harder you tried to feed her, the sicker she got. Read that sentence again to yourself when you're alone tonight, if it landed. Because it's the sentence that ends the version of the story where you were the problem. Two things matter here, more than the science. First, you cannot outlove a nervous system. Patience won't fix it. Consistency won't fix it. Showing up perfectly every day for 3 years won't fix it. More love is more stimulus to the same broken pathway. The medicine you were trying to be was making the illness worse. The relationship was a closed system that you couldn't change from the inside. That isn't a counsel of despair. It's a permission slip. You're allowed to stop trying to be the cure. You were never going to be. Second, the work that's left for you isn't about her. It's about you. There's a piece of your nervous system that learned that loving an unavailable person felt familiar. That doesn't mean you're damaged. It means you carry a pattern. And patterns can be seen. And once they're seen, they can be chosen against. The work is to recognize the pull when it shows up next. That particular feeling of familiar longing, the version of attraction that feels like recognition more than peace. And ask yourself whether what you're recognizing is genuine connection or the old wound finding its favorite kind of pain again. The next person you walk toward needs to be somebody whose nervous system can actually receive what you offer. Not somebody who calls your warmth suffocating, and your steadiness boring, and your honesty too much too soon. Somebody whose biology lets her feel your reach as a reach, not as a threat. Those people exist. They feel different. They feel quieter. They feel almost, at first, like nothing is happening, because nothing is firing in the threat circuitry, because there is no threat. That quiet is what regulation feels like to a system that's forgotten what regulation is. If any of this resonated, The free attachment quiz on this channel is a good place to start working out where your own nervous system sits. 15 questions, 3 minutes. No diagnosis at the end. Just information you can use. Link in the description. 2 companion videos on the channel go deeper. The dopamine trap covers why you can't stop thinking about her. The BPD double bind covers the engulfment abandonment dynamic. You weren't loving her wrong. Her biology couldn't metabolize love. You can put that down now. I'll see you in the next one. Songs, stories, the long road between who I was and who I'm becoming.